Well, hello. This is week 5 of my weight loss journey. This is covering May 21 through May 27, which includes part of Memorial Day weekend. If this is your first episode with us, Couch to Active, welcome. If this is your first Weight Loss for Lyn episode, go back, listen to week number 0. The context behind this is super important. And if the topic of a weight loss journey is a difficult topic for you, please pause and skip along to another episode. All right. I'm going to assume you've already listened to all the other weeks ahead of this one. And we're going to dive into how my week went for week 5 of the weight loss journey. All right. So, on a week or so ago in the episodes of our podcast, there's one, if you haven't listened to it yet, you really should listen to it. It's called Snacking and Intuitive Eating is the title of that podcast. It's about 4 or 5 episodes ago. This is where I talked about what happened on day 1 of this week. I ate that 700 calorie snack in 15 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes. Now, most of my meals I'm eating are less than 500 calories. So I basically ate a meal and a half worth of calories in 15 minutes. I let myself get caught into the processed food trap. I gave myself a treat and then counted the calories later. And the only reason it was a 700 calorie snack, not 1,000 or 1,500 calorie snack, was because I knew enough about what calories is in this junk food. It was a Haagen-Dazs bar. It was delicious. And it was a few of those light cookies, wafers that are like super light, super sugary. It's just a small handful of those, 700 calories. So I did that. That's how I started my week off. And then actually it was Sunday afternoon, still day one. Part of the reason I did it was because I got a little cocky. I was feeling really confident. I mean, last week, a 2.7 pound loss. That's awesome. A 2.7 pound loss when I'm still eating high protein. I am not starving myself. I am not fasting. Maybe you could say I'm doing an intermittent fast now that I think of it, because I'm usually done eating by 7 and I usually don't eat until at least 8 or sometimes 10 the next morning. So yeah, usually about 12 hour, but I don't know. I'm not thinking of it in that terms. One thing I did do though, with that 700 calorie snack was, even though I had killed my calories for the day, I was over the calories for the day. Remember, I'm doing this for health. I'm doing this for strength. I'm doing this for speed. So this was my test. Am I going to let myself go nutrient deficient because I just gobbled down a bunch of crap? Or am I going to still get in my minimums? So I looked at my tracker. This is where tracking's been really good for me. And because I had eaten good protein for breakfast, good protein for lunch, my protein was fine enough. And when I say fine enough, for me, I am requiring a minimum of 80 grams of protein every day, no exception, as long as it's within my control. And really living where I live now with all the grocery stores and food around me, it really is within my control to get in that 80 grams. I'm also getting a bare minimum of 20 grams of fat a day, which that Haagen-Dazs bar alone helped me out there. Need I say more? But my fiber was low, and fiber is a big piece of feeling full and feeling full longer. And my fiber was dead in the water. And so I actually did some Dave's Killer Bread 21 seed that has fiber in it. That's like actually real fiber, not fake fiber, which I'll talk about that on another episode. I'm going to do another whole episode on carbohydrates. So look for that episode coming up on carbohydrates. And I talk a lot more about fiber. So I ate that to get 2 slices, 10 more grams of fiber. So I got myself into my fiber. But yeah, I had to own it though. I had to own it. I had done 4 weeks. My weight loss in 4 weeks was more than 10 pounds. That was awesome. I felt really great. I've had zip in my step. Zip in my step. You guys. I caught myself on accident, not even on purpose, walking around my house, adding in some extra dance moves just because I wanted to. Yeah, I haven't done that in ever, like since before I got really sick years ago. I mean, maybe now and then a tiny bit, but I used to do that all the time. I used to crank up the music and dance around all the time just because I wanted to, just because it seemed fun. I caught myself doing it. I also caught myself walking up to my apartment. I'm on a 3rd floor apartment. I caught myself going up the stairs, skipping every other stair just because I thought it would be fun. I wasn't even trying to get extra exercise. I wasn't even trying to show off or be like, oh, I'm going to look. No, I just wanted to. So for one flight, I did every other stair going up, not going down. Dangerous. Don't do that. Going up. I skipped every other stair and I had the strength to do it. Now, this is not because I am down 10 pounds, maybe in part, but it is because for 4 weeks now, the amount of junk food, or 5 weeks now, the amount of junk food I've eaten, well, y'all been there. If you listen to this, you know exactly. I've been tattling on myself for every single fast food stop, every single thing. Hardly any. I've essentially cut alcohol completely out. I think, what is it? Have I twice now had alcohol, but only like 2 glasses of wine, I think? What is that? Yeah. And in 4 weeks, God, that seems like I'm lying there. Seems like maybe there was a 3rd time. I can't remember. But essentially cut out alcohol, hydration like crazy, sleep like crazy, because I had that freak show, right? When I had that day when I just fell apart and I was crying about everything. And I was like, not going to let this happen. If my mental health falls apart, I have to increase my calories. I didn't want to do that. So I upped on my sleep, and that has really, really helped. So it's a great feeling. I mean, it's like, you know that song? Wah, I feel good. Yeah. I've had a few moments like that, which is so exciting. Now, here's where I get a little bit cringy when I think of myself and this journey I'm going through compared to what you see folks saying, people you don't know, people who advertise and market to you and say, you just need to lose the weight. You'll feel so much better. It's like, it's not the weight, folks. It's not the weight in and of itself, because I could easily have lost 10 pounds and been sick and have 0 energy. I could have easily eaten junk food and crap and been like worn down and feeling really tired. Now, we know it's almost impossible to eat junk food and crud food and not go over your calories. Yeah, we've seen this. We've all been on this merry-go-round together. But the fact that I'm doing this in a healthy way, my body now has a full month of getting what it needs in a really focused way. And that's what's really exciting. That's what's making me feel strong. And that's what makes me cringy whenever you see somebody who has gained or lost weight and people think, make comments about, oh, you lost weight, you look great. Well, maybe I just had chemotherapy and I am withering away, or maybe I've got massive intestinal issues and I can't absorb nutrients. Like, that's a whole nother rat race, but that's where my mind goes, in part because I just want to be hyper aware of the complexities of this and really keeping it about being stronger and actually building my body up so my body can do more for me. Am I glad the scale went down last week? Yeah, you know. Oh yeah, of course I am. At the end of last week, I was beginning to doubt my sincerity in whether this was actually a goal of a pursuit of just the scale, because the number on the scale is the only thing I've actually really been measuring besides all my macros and food. I haven't actually gotten the tape measure out to see, has my waist changed size or anything, or, I haven't sent how many bicep curls can I do? How many squats can I do? And I was wondering, if I haven't actually done those measurements in earnest after 4 weeks, am I preaching strength and speed, but my real goal is get Lyn skinny? I've had a week to think about it and the jury is still out. One, I started thinking about it and I realized the best time to do measurements is the best time to do measurements is the same time every day. So for me, that would be like first thing in the morning, because what I eat during the day can change my waistband by 3 inches, depending on what I eat during the day. Totally common. So first thing in the morning would give me that most consistent measurement. First thing in the morning is not what you want to measure yourself for if you're getting fitted for a pair of pants and your waistband could be 3 inches bigger by the end of the day. But I digress. But first thing in the morning, I want my coffee. I want to meditate. I want to get my head around the day, and I want to eat my protein breakfast. I don't want to be stripping down, finding my tape measure and putting that cold tape measure around my waistband. Ooh. So I think that might be more of what's really going on. Plus, I can tell already in just 1 month, my clothes are fitting not a little more differently. So here's a weird one, like my yoga pants. I like my high-waisted yoga pants, those nice high-waisted ones that go up over the belly. They take any bulges I have and just tuck them in so nice, and they just feel so comfy and secure. My yoga pants, the waistband typically would hit kind of below my belly button. Now, because my stomach is a little smaller, that waistband is actually going up higher than my belly button. So that feels good. Yeah. And I've got a couple of t-shirts that are fitting a little, a little bit differently, a little bit more loosely. So I think I've got enough there. And the fact that I'm dancing in my living room, I'm going upstairs, skipping every other step. Okay, I got stuff here. I got it. So I just have to really make sure I keep that in integrity, because as a woman, and this is true for men too, but as a woman, as me, Lyn Lindbergh, I've totally lived that life of that programming of skinny is better, skinny is better, skinny is better, which is just, I know it's bullshit. I know that health isn't just a number on the scale. I know it's way more than that. But I also have to continue to remind myself that too. Yeah, it's real. And I hate saying that. I wish I could come here all altruistic and be like, look at me, I'm so pious and glorious and my priorities are perfect and I'm going just strictly for health and wellness. And so I no longer cut my hair. I never worry if my clothes match. I don't even shave my armpits anymore. If you don't shave your armpits, who cares? It's all good. I don't care. I don't care. Sorry. Oh my gosh, I'm getting myself into trouble today. Sorry. It's just not me. I am a little bit vain for myself. And I'm deciding I'm okay with that. I really am okay with that. It doesn't have to be a good or a bad thing. I don't need to put a moral judgment on it. Oh, that must be my upbringing, which is a whole nother story. Not for today. I'll need a whole nother podcast for that one. Okay. So I am absolutely adoring the fact that I am feeling stronger. Dialing in this high protein, it takes effort. Making sure my fiber is there takes effort. Making sure I have enough fat added. Oh my gosh, that takes effort. I am still like, I'll make a smoothie in the morning. I'll figure out my macros for the day. I'll figure out my plan. I'm going to do this salad for lunch. I'm going to do that for dinner and this. But that means because I'm trying to keep my calories low, and so I'm doing everything lean and mean, I end up, my fat ends up low. So then I got to add fat back in somewhere. So I'm like, I'm going to add fat to my smoothie. And then I make the smoothie and I forget to add the fat to my smoothie. And I'm like, crud. Now I got to add a tablespoon of olive oil somewhere. But so I'm still doing that. So I'm still trying to get my head around the details of the tracking and getting myself to where this becomes more and more and more habit, eating with these macros in a way. Because I tell you, when I did Sunday, that day one, when I ate too much, I ate that 700 calorie snack on top of what I normally ate. My body regulated itself. And that was exciting. And what I mean by that is that was Sunday, when Monday and Tuesday came, my calories of what I ate were actually lower. And I was seriously not even hungry for dinner. So I ate like half my dinner, and I let myself do that. I let my calories be low as long as I met my minimums. And that felt awesome. That felt really awesome. Then came Friday. Okay, this story is not nearly as dramatic as having fast food 3 times in a row. But it's a great example of how I learned I have got to watch snacking. Snacking can be a killer for me. So Friday comes, I get an invite to a friend's house. It's a beautiful day out. We are going to do, this is my second time I've had wine. I forgot I hadn't talked about that yet. I knew I was going to have a couple glasses of white wine and there are going to be some snacks. So I did not eat dinner before I went there. And I got there around 4:00 on Friday. It was beautiful out. And the snacks served were cheese, crackers, nuts, hummus with peppers, and wine. And snacks served wine. So I decided, okay, I want some healthy fats with a little protein. So that was cheese and nuts. And I just nommed on some nuts, not too much, just a couple little handfuls of nuts, kept track of them, kind of kept track best as I could. Ate a few slices of cheese, had my 2 glasses of wine, had maybe 2 crackers, I think just 2 crackers, 2 little bites of hummus, 900 calories. 900 calories in 2 glasses of wine, a couple handfuls of nuts, 2 crackers, like a little bit of cheese. Holy crap. And I felt like I was just nibbling just a little bit. And I nibbled myself almost 2 meals worth of food by not eating a meal at all. This is where tracking has become so important for me, because now I need to remember, next time that comes, remember nuts are good for you, but they have an incredible amount of calories. So thankfully, because I didn't do dinner, that became my dinner. And once again, I had eaten a great breakfast, a great lunch. So derailing my dinner did not derail the day as a whole. So the nuts were salty though. So that was Friday. Saturday, I ate a bunch of salt. And then I was right at that point, TMI, I'm going to start talking about lady bits, you guys. So if you get squeamish, fast forward. I was expecting that sometime in the next few days, my 50-year-old body would probably be back on its period again. I know I'm going menopausal, and knew that might have been coming at some point. I knew that the scale always goes up and down, a little wacky there. I actually don't know by how much, because I've never really tracked the scale super closely for myself along with my period, because I just know weight goes up and down a few pounds all the time and I can't worry about it too much. So I knew that might have been coming along, but wasn't sure, and it didn't yet. So Saturday, I went for the longest hike I've been on in years, which was okay. So yeah, my energy is getting better. Geez, what am I thinking? The longest, steepest hike I've been on in years, which wasn't a ton. It was 5 miles, 1,000 feet of elevation gain. Went on that hike, and that was Saturday. My weigh-ins are Sunday morning. So I'm using the Sunday to Sunday weigh-in numbers. I'm not using anything in between, which there's pros and cons to that, because if your lowest number of the week is not on Sunday morning, I'm stuck with it. So went hiking with a friend. Whenever a human does a big physical feat, bigger than they normally do, what typically happens then is you have more broken down in your body. So right, to gain strength, you break the muscle down, the muscle rebuilds itself stronger. To gain strength, you do those bicep curls. Those biceps get broken down a little bit because you're working them hard. Then they recover, then the biceps are stronger. But that process of breaking down and then repairing is a little bit of an inflammatory process. So when people do, it's really common, for example, like marathon runners, they go and they run, 20 some miles, 26 miles, 13 miles. They've just run a ton, but the next morning, it's very common that they'll weigh 5 pounds more. And that's that inflammatory response. So this was Saturday. I did something that could have been an inflammatory response, but a good one, building strength, right? Building muscle. This is good, but I knew I did that Saturday. It might impact the scale. So when I got on the scale Sunday morning, I was a little bit nervous, quite frankly, really curious to see what was going to happen. So you want the news? You want the skinny? Okay, that was not a pun. But a pretty good one, if I might say so myself. All right, here's the facts. Here's the skinny. Okay. For the week, I averaged 1,313 calories every single day. Again. That is low. 1,300 calories is low. It's borderline, almost too low, but I'm dialing in the nutrition so freakishly well. And I'm not really eating much crap that I feel okay with that. If I ate more crud in a day, I would increase those calories. Kind of like the day I did with that 700 calorie crap food snack. Those calories in that day were like 2,000. Yeah. Protein, 109 grams a day. Fat, my goal is bare minimum of 80 with the max of 120 a day. Fat, 54 with my goal being 50. That's awesome. Fiber, my goal is 19 to 20. I average 22 grams of fat, 22. Part of what helped that was all those nuts I ate. Nuts are full of fiber. That helped me a lot. And some, other things during the day. So here we go for the scale. My starting weight for the week, which was the ending weight of last week, 171.4. Even with the hiking, which causes inflammatory response, even with thinking period is coming anytime soon, which makes me cringy to say that out loud, but you know what? This is life. I'm a human. I'm a woman. Even with all the salt that I ate, my ending weight, 170.3. 4. So that resulted in only a net loss for the week of 0.6 pounds. Now, I could have chugged a bunch of water before I got on the scale, and I could have had a net loss of 0. That's how close it is. So I'm not going to get depressed or excited over this number. Quite secretly, though, don't tell anybody, but quite secretly, I am glad it's still a net loss. Mentally, that's so much easier. I know if it was a net loss of 0 or a net gain of 1, I would have to do some mental gymnastics to remind myself I'm doing it right. I'm following the book. I'm not starving myself. But the fact that there was a tiny bit of loss there is great. Total loss since the beginning of this is the end of week 5. Total loss, 11.2 pounds. That is something to be proud of. That's something to be proud of. I'm tracking right to week 5? Yeah, about 2 pounds a week. Super excited about that. That actually still feels a little bit too fast for me. So I'm going to keep my eye on this. I'm going to keep my eye on my mental health. I'm going to keep my eye on my energy. This last week was good, you guys. I mean, like, dang, mental health was good. Thank God. My energy was better. That was good. I think that's because I slept. Did a lot of sleeping. So next week, what do I got going on next week? Isn't this kind of crazy? It's kind of crazy. It's like, oh, I'm actually not sure what's going to happen here. And so far it's going okay. And I have to thank you all. You guys are huge accountability for me. I was talking to some of our students in one of the classes and about this podcast and about it being live and real time. We don't know how the story is going to end. And one of my students is like, I could imagine that would be good accountability for you too. And I was like, uh-huh, absolutely. Okay. What do we got going on this week here? All right. Nothing too remarkably crazy schedule-wise. I've still got Sunday and Monday of Labor Day weekend still to go, and plans on Monday with some friends. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes. Food and exercise or not exercise-wise. Gotta hopefully a period coming up, or maybe not. I don't know. I'm menopausal. That's all like a weird thing. So that definitely skews the scale. That's about it. Maybe some more hiking next weekend. So like I said, going back to week 0, the whole prep, it took me 3 years of holding on to this extra weight before I could get myself to a place where I really felt confidently I could rock this. And part of it is I own my life and I own my schedule now more than I ever did in the previous 3 years. And so it's a good time for me to do this. So when you look at what I'm doing, please don't compare it too much to what you're doing or what you aspire to do or what you want to do, because there's a really good chance that you may have 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years of your week 0 work that needs to be done before you can get to a place where you feel like you can just like put the pedal to the metal and go for it. Because for me, I mean, here I am, like 2 pound a week loss, and that's after 3 years of work I needed to do, after getting the sugar out of my diet, after taking my alcohol down to essentially 0, after getting myself in a place where life was not as stressful. I mean, a lot of things. And even at that, it's still not perfect. And it probably never will. So there we go. Week 6 coming up. And if you want me to give you a hand with any of this, dialing it all in, it would be my honor. You can find me over at couch2active.com. That's couch, COUCHTO active.com. My email's there, my phone number, call me 24/7, leave a voicemail if I don't pick up during the day, and we'll get you going on a similar path. All right, couch2active.com.